Why does he have a mousetrap on his ball?
Welcome back to the Goblin Podcast. I'm Skylar at Flack.
I'm Dan, or at Rabies Dan. Skylar is eating a pickle. We just had dinner, or lunch. It's like 4 o'clock.
Shut up. This is when I eat dinner.
Yeah, but you guys eat really early. So we ate dinner, and Skylar got out a pickle, and now she's eating it.
It's so bad.
We have to finish eating it now, because then we can't continue without you.
It's like scratching the back of my throat.
You have to finish eating
cold.
it. You have to finish eating.
Touch it.
I'm not touching your pickle.
Touch my pickle.
I'm not touching your pickle.
It's so cold.
Just eat it. Hurry.
I'm trying.
I don't want to make any cuts, but if this goes on too long, I will cut it out.
No, this is a great bit. I love this.
Yeah, I hate this bit.
What are we doing? Okay.
We're not starting. We're not talking about anything until you finish eating that pickle.
No.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna sit in silence.
Hold on. Just eat the pickle up to the microphone.
What?
You sound really gross.
Glad.
I'm listening to you on the mixer. It cut out because it thought it was background noise. This is so gross. Eat it faster. Just swallow that last little bit. Just swallow it. Come on. Alright. She's got the last bit in her mouth. So, today, you know what we're going to talk about?
My fingers are sticky from the pickle.
We're going to talk about Cats 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Because we went to go see that yesterday.
It's on our Instagram, which is also at
GoblinzCast.
Mm-hmm.
You always forget the cast. So we went to go see Cats.
My hands are cold.
It was worse than I expected it to be. I knew it was bad, but I didn't expect it to be the worst movie I've ever seen.
It was, in my opinion, it was so bad that it was good.
It was, like, in limbo between it's so bad it's good and it is just bad. It was...
I was laughing the whole time.
I started laughing because I didn't know what I was seeing. Okay, so it started off. Main character Cat was in a bag, and some guy walks out of a car and throws her into the middle of like a parking lot, and then all the cats come around her and start singing about jellicle cats, and
we didn't know what that meant.
They never explained in the entirety of the movie what a jellicle cat was. We were the only ones in the movie theater, so we had our phones out and stuff.
Yeah, we were.
I was Googling what a jellicle cat was.
We got into the movie theater, and I was, like, expecting to see maybe one person.
Like an old couple or something.
I went and looked down through the entire movie theater, like, 3 times, so I made sure I wasn't, like, being overly obnoxious when there were other people. Because I didn't want to be crawling on the fucking floor. Why am I talking that soft?
No.
Because I didn't want to be crawling on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being loud is the problem. It's not used to that.
I can turn your mixer up. Continue talking.
So... I went up and down the aisles to make sure that there was no one else in there, so that we weren't really disturbing anyone. I was surprised though, like even for a terrible movie, it was like there was literally no one there.
There was nobody there. So after they were singing about jellicle cats for way too long. It was like 5.
It was a 5-minute song at least. At least
it was, and then there was some bad guy, and then Jason Derulo was there.
And dude, okay, can I just say this? Most of the cats looked pretty weird. The biggest problem, not the biggest problem, one of the problems was that this cat, the bad guy.
Oh my god.
I still don't know what his fucking name is, but okay.
It was McCafferty.
McCafferty. But none of the cats had clothes around their genital area, where, you know, but some of them had coats on, but that just looked weird.
Yeah.
He had no fur pattern. There was no pattern.
He just
he was skin color.
Yeah.
And he just looked like a naked, genitalless man.
Yeah, he looked, because his fur was like smooth. Like it was like a smooth cat fur. He had no patterns.
And if you're thinking about
the
this,
fur
he has a leotard on.
Yes.
So it's skin tight.
Yeah, the fur was the exact same color as his skin. Mm-hmm. And it looked like he was just nude. And
it just didn't have to be this.
Yeah,
it was so funny. It was so funny.
He looked like a Ken doll.
I remember That's what all of them look like. If you have a doll and you just take all their clothes off.
Yeah, like, whenever I would get Barbies or, like, Monster High dolls or whatever, I would take them out of packaging, and I would take their clothes off. And that's just the first thing I did. And then I'd lose the clothes. So then I just had naked dolls.
Naked dolls.
Yeah. Once I walked in on my little sister making her dolls have sex.
Which sister?
This was years ago. Ooh, I shouldn't have said her name. I'll cut it out. We're 5 minutes in, and I have to cut my sister's name out. So, yeah, she had the dolls, they were naked, and they were on top of each other. And then I was like, yo, I'm gonna borrow your charger. And then I left.
And then you left?
Yeah, so.
We're not telling the cum sock story today, right?
No, that's not today.
Okay.
Unless you want to.
Do you want me to say it today?
While we're on topic, let's talk about the cum sock.
I want to get up and walk around. This is the story.
This is the story of the century, guys.
I walked into my room because me and my brother share a room at my mother's house, and my brother, I'm not going to say his name. My brother was sitting there, and he was just playing video games. He wasn't doing anything seemingly harmless. He was like nothing at first. I walked in, and I was collecting clothes because we were doing the laundry, and I touched this sock, which is on my side of the room.
It's your sock.
It is my sock. It's like, because some of the other family members take my socks and they use them and just like normally. And I grabbed the sock and it was weird. It had a weird texture. I'm like, this is weird. I touched it and it had like a hole in it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I touched it and it was like all crusty. And I'm like, you know what? And it smelled like wet dog.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, I swear it was the dog. The dog came in and he was just chewing. He was just chewing on like the sock. He tried to pass it off as the dog was chewing on your sock, Skylar, and then he just dropped the sock and just left it, and somehow it got crusty as hell. So I knew he came in my sock.
He came in your sock.
And he left it on my side of the room, which is what disturbs me. I would have rather him used my sock and he never found the sock.
Throwing the sock away.
Yeah, throwing the sock away or, reusing your cum sock. Because I'm not wearing it again. And he left it on my side of the room. He used it, took it off, and threw it at my bed.
That isn't the only time something similar to this has happened, though.
Oh my god! Do you want me to tell this story too?
Yes, they're together on our list on the Google Drive, so you might as well tell it.
Holy shit. Okay. This one happened really recently.
This was like last week.
This was last week.
What? Well, this was like the day. What? Was this before or after our first episode?
This was before our first episode. And you were like, this is a good podcast idea. I'm like,
yes.
Please.
And then I put it on the list.
God. I had to bring my...
She texted me this when it happened, and
I was texting you as it was happening.
I was like going to dinner with my grandpa, and she was just texting me this, and then I lost my mind in the passenger seat of my grandpa's car, and he was like, "What are you laughing at?" And I'm like, "Grandpa, my friend sent me something really funny," and then he's like, "What was it?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to tell you." And then he's like, "Oh, okay, I probably don't want to know then." I'm like, "Thank you, Pop-Pop." So,
I'm sorry.
Was that enough time to give you to prepare?
I'm prepared now. I think probably. I don't know. I was in my room. I was talking to Josh, and we were talking. I wasn't talking to you at the moment.
No, you talked to me when it happened.
I talked to you like the day after we were on Discord.
Yes.
And I was like hearing this heavy breathing, and I was like, at first it sounded like, and my mom had like, she was sick, so she was like sounding like that, and then it got like less like that, and it was more like, And I was like, what's going on? And I'm hearing this, because I can't see it quite yet, because I'm turned around and I'm in my desk. If you can imagine this, he is feet from me.
Yes.
Like, a couple feet from me. And I'm sitting in the desk turned around and I'm on my computer. And I hear the sheets like...
Stop. That's our script you're messing up.
and I was like, you know, what is going on? And I look over and I just see it. And it wasn't like he was out or anything.
The sheets were like moving.
Yeah, he was under the sheets, and and it's not even like it was even discreet. Like the sheets were moving so much, and I look over and I realize what was happening, and I was like, oh my god! And then I wanted to just.
Someone just coughed upstairs.
Someone just went. Ahoo!
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
I wanted to leave so bad, but I seriously couldn't.
You were
move.
stuck. You were like.
You
were petrified.
I was. And I was like, okay, I was telling Josh as it was happening, I'm like, I don't know if I should leave. And Josh, because this was like 10 minutes of this.
Yes.
And he's like, Skylar, leave.
Yeah.
And I'm literally. Like, I literally can't move. And he's like, okay. And then my brother, who...
Okay, so her brother has a problem where he can't tell if he's saying something out loud or not. So he'll just say things out loud that he didn't realize he did. And then he says, what did he say?
He said, "Oh, that was good."
And then he
I left. That was the moment that I left. I got up and I walked away.
You're peeking the mic.
I don't want to do it.
Her brother goes, that was good, and then he goes to sleep, and then you text me.
I left the room. Oh my god, I hope that he saw me leave and knew that was why I left. Because I can't.
You should have gone back and told him to wash his sheets or something. To let him know that you know.
Even when you tried to say that, I was like, shh.
Oh yeah, cause we called recently, a few days ago, and
our script goes by.
Here, grab it. So her brother's in the room, and I was talking to him. I was like, no, he's not. I was like, hey, Skylar's brother, what's up? And we were talking. I'm like, I said, oh, wash your sheets.
And I was like, shut up.
And he wasn't at the camera. He was feet away. So I don't know if he heard me, but I hope he did.
He was just like, no, they can't see me. So they can't see me making that face.
Yeah, she just made a
disgusted kind
a disgusted face. Yeah.
He was
yikes, like a yikes face.
Yeah, and just kind of walked and jumped out of frame for a second, but then came back in. But he's just always moving, anyways.
Yes, he's just a little boy.
Oh my god, that was literally one of the most uncomfortable things that's ever happened to me. I swear to God. I'm not even kidding.
That's really.
You think it's funny?
It's really funny.
It's not funny.
It's really, really funny.
It's so terrible.
It's really, really, really funny.
It's not funny.
It's so funny.
I was literally crying.
It was really funny.
I was in tears when this happened.
It was really funny.
No, it wasn't. And
yes, it was.
I told you, I was like, okay. When I was texting you, I'm like, I know this is gonna sound funny.
And then you told me.
You're gonna think that it's funny, but I'm really upset about it. And I told you, and he's like, ha 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 ha!
I think
it's so funny. I'm like, shut up!
I don't usually do this unless it's I'm literally laughing, but I actually typed out ha 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 in all caps because I didn't know what else I could use to describe it. Lamau was not enough for this situation. I was actually laughing in real life. It was so funny.
It wasn't funny.
It was so funny.
I was hoping to get some emotional support from you by texting you because
okay.
I was so petrified.
Skylar, am I the person to text for emotional support? No, I'm not the person to text for emotional support. If you text me for emotional support, I will find a meme related to your problem and send it to you.
You have.
I'm not. I feel bad, but I'm not the person to talk to.
Yeah, we were talking about something serious yesterday, and I am loud.
You are loud. I turned your volume up, and then you just got so much louder.
Okay, turn me down.
Okay.
And we were talking about my parents because something happened. I'm not even going to explain that on the podcast, but something happened the other day, and I was like, Dan, I'm so upset. And he fucking sends Carl Azus.
Carl Azus, CNN 10.
I hate you, and I just did not respond.
Carl Azus, CNN 10.
What happened there?
I think that was you laughing in the waveform. Yeah, Carl Azus, CNN 10.
I know his name.
I just feel like I have to say it, because I'm just thinking about him.
Always.
I'm always thinking about, oh my god.
I need another book.
Okay, so back to cats. We need to talk about cats, because I can't just let this go.
Hold on, I'm gonna
It
read a book.
was so just disgustingly bad. Okay, so Cats was like, there was no plot.
No.
There was no plot.
I think there was a plot, but we didn't know what it was because...
No. I looked it up. I looked up afterwards. I looked up, does Cats have a plot? And it said, no, Cats does not have a plot. It's supposed to be a tribute to Jellicle Cats. I still am not sure what Jellicle Cats exactly means.
Someone should comment below instead of commenting, just Google it, because we've Googled it already.
Literally,
That is the stupidest
yes,
answer. If I'm asking you something and you're like, just Google it, I'm asking you because I don't want to Google it.
exactly. On Twitter, I was like, what is a Jellicle Cat? And somebody responds to me, it's hard to explain, just Google it. And I'm like, my guy, I'm asking because what Google said didn't make sense to my little tiny brain.
It was, and I couldn't even tell.
Couldn't
I
even
couldn't
tell.
even tell. I couldn't even tell what was happening because even if it didn't have a plot, it still had like some sort of. Are you turning me down?
No, I'm not. Continue, please.
And it like you couldn't tell what they were saying because every single line was spoken
They
in riddles.
spoke.
And
they were
they
singing in riddles.
Huge, like I'm like I am. Like they were using huge vocabulary too, and I'm like I don't know what that means.
Yeah, literally, it was. They spoke in rhyme and riddles. It in the whole movie was singing in riddles up until the end. And the queen cat looks directly at the camera and starts talking to me. Me specifically.
Us specifically because there's literally no one else in the movie.
Nobody else there. We were the only one. The queen cat started talking to us, and you know what she says? She goes,
Cats are not dogs.
She goes, cats are not dogs. And then she said something like, call your cat by its name. Like, and then they started singing a reprise of Jellicle Cats for like the third time.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. It was
Speaking of Jesus Christ, they sent a cat to heaven. So
yeah.
there was this cat the whole time, like the whole plot of the movie.
And
like I didn't hear about the first time I heard about like
I knew about the movie was that they were going to compete in something.
I didn't know. So they were competing for like the most Jellicle cat or something.
Yeah, the most deserving Jellicle cat.
Yes.
I
And
think I picked up more than you did somehow.
I don't know. The first time I heard about that was like in the movie. It was like 10 minutes. It was more than 10 minutes in.
When about cats, I can smell them.
Oh, like when the James Corden cat said that he was gonna win, and I was like, what is he gonna win? And then people started talking about it, so I'm like, oh, he's gonna win. So
I'm sniffing my mic.
I know you're sniffing your mic. I can hear it. So they were competing for the most Jellicle cat, and this whole time there's been this cat that's just been like on the side of the road, and everybody's been hissing at her and ignoring her. And then
we don't know why.
We don't know why. And then I forget what the song was called, but it was the song in the trailer. She sings it. It's like the big song in the movie, but she ruins the impact of it by singing it 3 times instead of just like one at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like crying to the point where she was the only good actor in the movie. She was like crying to the point where like there was snot dripping down her face.
Yeah, and the second I noticed that, I told you, I'm like, ew.
Ewy.
Every single time she
Ewy,
cried,
gross. That is gunk.
Yeah, well, every time she cried, which was like every time her character was brought up, she had snot just dripping down her nose.
But
I'm like, ew, it's gonna get stuck in her fur.
But still, like, the main character cat brought her in, and then everybody was hissing at her, and then she started singing, and then
sobbing,
and then the queen is like, you are the most deserving Jellicle cat. And then they put her in a hot air balloon and sent her into the sky.
Yeah, and
to heaven.
like,
And then, like, they had this big character arc. She was gonna be like she didn't really have a character, so I'm like, okay, they're gonna develop her character. And then they got rid of her. She was gone.
yeah, they never, like...
And there was barely any conflict, because, like, the big conflict was Taylor Swift and, McCafferty. And...
those two characters barely interacted.
And when McCafferty died, well, he didn't die, but when
died.
When he was defeated, it wasn't like he was defeated. It was that he fell over, and now he has fallen over. Like, like that was it.
So weird, and he
it was
had,
so
like,
weird.
Magical powers and stuff, and that was just never explained.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, can I bring this up? It was. I know that they were trying to make them, like, human cat things, but the way that they did it was so weird, because they had the characters doing, like, weird cat things.
Yep, like, rubbing necks when... There was so much sexual tension.
There was sexual tension between every fucking character.
Like, the main character would look at somebody's lips, and then they'd get really close to each other, and then they'd rub necks. It was so weird. I felt like I was watching, like... porn. I felt like I was watching, like, a weird furry porn.
It was so oh god. And it was like you thought that I thought that there was gonna be, because usually in movies like this, like musicals especially, they have like a love interest as at least a subplot.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't tell what this love interest was, because she was just fucking every character.
Yeah, I personally shipped her with Mr. What was it? Mr. Magician Man. What was his name?
The little magician cat.
The magician cat.
The magic cat. That just brought the queen back with no...
Yeah, that scene was so weird.
It was
dragged out, because they were like, Mr. Magic Man.
Yeah, they were about the cat.
They were
so
like,
they can get confidence.
They were hyping him up. They were hyping him up, and then he was
because the entire song.
Okay, so Taylor Swift took the queen away.
Taylor Swift's name was Victoria.
The main character was Victoria. Taylor Swift was the bad guy.
Taylor Swift wasn't the bad guy.
Yes, Taylor Swift was the bad guy.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, you Google it. So Taylor Swift was giving everybody catnip, and then
Taylor Swift the bad guy in Cats?
You could have just Googled it instead of asking Google. Okay, so Taylor Swift gave everybody catnip. The queen got taken away by Taylor Swift and McCafferty, and then Mr. Magic Cat.
Oh, you're right.
Mr. Magic Cat had to, like, bring her back with a magic spell, and he tried like 20 times and he couldn't do it, and everybody's like, you can do it, come on, man.
And every single time they had to sing an entire song.
Yes, they sang like the 3 verses over and over again, and then when he finally brought her back, like, he was trying to put her in a basket with his pencil magic wand, and then he turned around and she was there, so like she was like she turned around and she was just there. I don't know.
I really don't even think he was the character that brought her back. I think it was just, she was just there.
Yeah, literally it didn't. It's they should have brought her back, like, if it was really him, like how McCafferty disappears. They should have used that same effect to make her appear.
Yeah, but she was just there.
She was just there.
They didn't want to do it. They just didn't want to do it.
It was just the weirdest thing.
And they had, okay, I want to say, I pointed this out in the very beginning of the movie. They are supposed to be the size of cats.
Yes.
But it looks
like all the objects are just really big.
Yeah, they made all the objects really big to make it look like they are small, but the objects look huge.
They just look like people next to giant objects.
Yeah.
They look like elves. Or goblins.
You're funny.
I know.
All right, the podcast is over.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
So, Cats was just really, really, really bad.
The animation and the graphics were terrible.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
So when the Jason Derulo, I noticed this on
Derulo.
Jason Derulo, when he was walking around, his feet were clipping through the floor. He was like, the first dance number he was in, his feet were just clipping through the brick ground, and it was so weird because it looked like Oblivion.
Yeah, especially the characters that had shoes, they had a lot of problems.
Yeah, they had a lot of problems with shoes. Also, their faces didn't match up.
Oh my god! They had a completely normal human face except it had cat fur on it.
Yeah, and it didn't like match up with the expressions. Like they would move their eyebrows, but the cat base would stay the same, so it just looked like a floating face.
Yeah, and they would move their faces, and like I don't know how to explain this without like showing a picture or anything.
It was like a half second behind.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was so bad.
It just looked like they. Oh my god, it was so bad. I don't even know how they fucked it up that bad.
So, do you want to talk about the last time we went to the movie theater with the Cheez-Its?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Cheez-Its.
Let's talk about the Cheez-Its. So, we'll go back.
Okay.
I take French class, and my French teacher was like, let's have a secret Santa, and...
Explain what that is, because I don't think they know what that is.
Everybody knows what a secret Santa
No,
is.
they don't. I didn't know what it was.
La Lutin Secret. So they would...
Knock, frappe la porte.
Talk, frappe la porte. So, Secret Santa is when you put everybody's name in a hat, and everybody pulls a name, and then they have to buy a gift for whoever they picked out of the hat. And I got some kid in my class, and I got him Skittles, whatever. But the girl that got me got me a box of Cheez-Its with a bow on it. It wasn't even wrapped or anything. It was just a bow taped to Cheez-Its. And it's the best gift I've ever received. It was I couldn't have asked for anything more perfect than that.
Better than your Peter Kane shirt?
Yes.
For reference, I got him that for his birthday.
For my birthday, she got me a Peter Kane dog training shirt. So, these Cheez-Its. I walk out of French class, and you meet me at my locker before band, and I'm like, Skylar, I've got these Cheez-Its, and you're like, whoa, and then I hand them to you, and you take them, and we go to band class, and you have them, and we start eating them while our teacher is cleaning a tuba.
He's bathing
so
this fucking tuba.
This was the day after a few days after our band concert, so we didn't have our instruments, and we weren't going to play the rest of the week. It was also the week before winter break. And so we had this box of Cheez-Its, and we were eating them while he was cleaning the tuba, and he was like, stop eating! So we stopped eating.
And I closed up just the top part.
Just the top part. And then he put on Frosty the Snowman when he was done cleaning the tuba, and we started eating them again. Because he left.
Yeah.
He went out because we were too loud, and he did not like it. So we were just eating them. And then, I don't know exactly what happened, but somebody said something to you, so you sprung up to go talk to them, and...
No! Okay, so...
Okay.
Lane was sitting on the floor, and he's like, haha, and I was like, I'll step on you. I'll step on you.
I will step on you, you little twink boy.
Yeah, and he was just laying on the floor, so I pretended to step on him, so I went over and I was gonna jump, but miss him, you know?
Yeah.
And I went over, I jumped, and did all of that perfectly, except the box opened up, all the Cheez-Its came out of the box, and fell on the floor. And
our band room is carpeted, so there was and people started stepping on them.
Yeah,
so
there's everyone knew I had Cheez-Its, because everyone was like, Skylar, give me Cheez-Its. And I was
yes.
like, fuck no, they're mine.
They are
and
my
so
Cheez-Its.
They got so pissed at me that instead of even eating the Cheez-Its, they went over and they would step on them. And
yes.
They were little crumbs.
So there was just Cheez-Its in the floor. And then our teacher comes in, and he goes, you are making a mess, Skylar. He goes, Skylar, you are making a mess. And you go, I'm picking it up. And he just looks at you, and then he goes back outside.
He's so disappointed.
He was.
He was so disappointed at me. I'm like, I'm sorry.
He only talks to Skylar when she's being annoyed.
like all the time.
Because in class, she's always on her phone in the middle of band class. So he's like, Skylar, put away your phone. And she is just on it.
I feel like he shouldn't have to, like, because it wasn't a problem, really, before, because I've been doing this for years. Like,
I think it's because you sit right next to, somebody that I don't want to name, because if he finds out about this, he'll make fun of me, but you sit right next to him, and he is very problematic in class, so the teacher is always looking at him.
Yeah, and then they would always see me on my phone. It's like, because the clarinets will be doing something, and I have nothing to do, and I'm not talking, and I'm not really disrupting anyone, and I just be on my phone. I'm not taking pictures, I'm not snending, not snending snaps
Oh,
to
yeah.
anyone, and he's just like, Skylar, put your phone away, but he never used to do that.
I don't know. I think it's because you used to sit out of his view.
It's the class. Our band class is like of 86 kids.
Yep. It's not that big compared to the 6th and
God.
like the middle school bands are big.
The middle school bands are big?
Yes.
Like, how though? How big?
Huge.
You know? I've been in there.
I went to the
They were like, Skylar, you are older, you must help out.
I went to the 6th grade band concert recently because we could get extra credit for it, and there were like 25 clarinets. And there was like 115 kids there. It was a gigantic.
That is insane.
I hope they all drop out before we have to deal with them.
Exactly.
Because I don't want any more clarinets.
I don't want there to be. You know what? The flutes are fucking annoying.
Yep.
The flutes are annoying.
I was talking to some flutes, and they were like out of our class. They're like, Skylar is the only fun flute.
I'm the only one that does anything. Because I remember the day that we went, like, when we went marching, we were with a bunch of older high schoolers.
Yeah, this was a while ago.
Yeah, and we were like,
it was like when we
Yeah, we
first
had to-
did marching
yeah,
band. It
yeah.
was a practice one.
yeah, we had to separate into groups, and everyone was so scared.
Mhm.
And I was like bouncing all over the place because I
Yep.
was so hyper because I knew most of the older kids.
Mhm.
And everyone's like, Skylar, you don't just stop, you're being so loud, you're all over the place. Calm
I don't
down.
know. I didn't make friends with anybody until like the performance. Like none of the practices, I was literally just sitting there. And then at the performance, I was sitting next to this guy, and he was just talking to me, and I was like, "Oh, he's all right." And then he told some guy,
Dick.
yeah, he told some asshole that I know that he probably has herpes, and I'm like, I like this guy. We're friends now.
Dude,
So
the whole night that night specifically was so chaotic because I remember we'd have to put our flutes up and play whenever our team scored, but we were all talking, so none of us knew when the team would score. So we would go and we would just go. We would put our flutes up and we go.
yeah.
And then we would put our flute down and then we'd continue talking for the next 10 minutes.
The senior clarinets would try to get us on topic, and like the senior clarinets would play, but all of the other clarinets would just dance.
Just dance.
No, literally,
The clarinet dance.
Literally, they like wave their clarinets around like cheerleaders, and they do it all the time, and it annoys everybody else, and I love it so much.
It's the clarinet dance. And
It's
I'm
the
like,
clarinet
what are
dance.
the clarinets doing? And
And
they're
then
like, don't do that. It's the clarinet dance. I'm like, okay.
Don't do that. That's the clarinet dance.
I was like, okay.
Before they taught us any of like the first down or songs and stuff, I don't know football, and they taught us the clarinet dance. That was the first thing they taught us, which I'm glad I know. It's come in very handy.
Yeah, and you know, I know it was like some kid that just came in and was like, we should make this a thing, and then they just made it a thing.
Yep.
And now it's probably been a thing for a while.
They've probably been passing it down through the generations.
The flutes don't have a dance. The flutes would just kind of like, they sit there and they talk like petty women.
It's because you're a bunch of girls. All the flutes are girls. It's annoying.
All the flutes are women except, can I say his name?
No.
I don't really know him. You
Just
know
say
that-
the first
that
letter of
name?
his name.
S.
S.
You remember S?
Oh, he left.
Oh yeah, he left.
Oh yeah, he's not here anymore. Yes, I know him.
Can I say his name?
No.
I mean,
I miss him.
holy shit.
He was so annoying.
He was so annoying.
He was so annoying, but I miss him.
Oh my god, he was so bad at the flute.
So
And he would hold it incorrectly, and then our band teachers would be like, "Ding-you," and then he would stop and not do it for the next I'm not even kidding, the next 5 seconds he would stop, and then he would do it again.
oh my god. Okay.
God.
So I don't have many friends. So whenever I'd walk into a
Not even
class,
me.
no, you're like the only friend I have plus like online people. And so I'd walk into class and he'd be sitting there and I'd go up to him and I'd sit next to him and I'd be like, "What's up?" And he'd be like, ugh.
He would physically make noises and go, I've talked to him before, and he would go, ew.
And then he'd pull, like, marbles and paper clips out of his pockets. He was such a cool dude. I miss him so much.
He was the locker, like, 2 down.
Unironically, like, I miss him severely.
He is, oh my god. He and the other short kid that
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
I want to call him like a shaggy dog, because that's what
Yeah.
he is.
He's just like a little boy.
He is. He reminds me of my brother in every way except for the fact that he has not jacked off while I was in the room. He's always talking, always moving around.
That specific kid told me he had a crush on me, and I'm like, I'm not gay, mate, and he got really mad.
Yeah, he was like, do you remember, this is hard for me to not say people's names.
You gotta just describe him.
The little emo boy that's like, I am so depressed all the time, you don't get the inside of my brain.
Yes! He's I wouldn't describe him as emo, because he'd probably throw a hissy fit if I called him that. He tries to be, like, all
edgy.
punk and edgy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's little. He also had a crush on me. And then I'm like, I'm not. And then I'm like, I'm not gay, mate. And then he got all defensive about it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not gay either. Like,
yeah, you're not gay?
Sure, shut up. But he like, the best way I can describe him is like one of those transphobes that are like, I'm not transphobic, I just hate trans people. Like,
yeah.
That's how he acts.
I'm not homophobic, I just hate every gay person, including myself.
Yeah, that's literally him. Yeah, that's just a bunch of annoying kids. Should we get back to the Cheez-Its?
I completely forgot.
So, this came from band.
Yeah.
Cheez-Its. We had this box of Cheez-Its, and we were eating it, and we got like halfway done, and I'm like, Skylar, we're seeing Knives Out tonight, right? We should take the Cheez-Its box. And then we did. And we were telling my mom about the Cheez-Its box, and...
Tell how we...
And then
we lost them?
No, we're gonna get to that. So, your parents picked me up, right? And then my mom picked us up from the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had the box of Cheez-Its, and we go in. I'm hiding it under my shirt, and it's not noticeable because I have like a coat on, and I am very small. And I've got this box of Cheez-Its, and we're sneaking them in. We get them in. We barely eat any of them.
I ate a lot. Oh my god, I ate like so much of the bag.
Really?
Yeah.
I ate like 4.
They were good.
Okay. And then we get done with the movie. We're like, wow, that was good. And then we go.
Knives Out was pretty good.
We text my mom. We go, we are done with the movie. Come pick us up. And we go over to, there's a bunch of quarter machines at the movie theater, and we're messing around getting stupid quarter machines. We got a fidget spinner. And then next thing, my mom's like, oh, I'm here. We go out, we're in my mom's car, we're telling her about the Cheez-Its and how we snuck them in, and then we're like, wait a minute. Where are the Cheez-Its? We lost our Cheez-Its.
And you know what? I know exactly where it is. Like, where we left them.
I think it was by the ATM, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We left them...
Because I put them down, and you're like, I don't want to put my money in there, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because I was the only one who had money, so I put them down and put the dollar bills in there and got...
money. And so we lost them, and I'm really mad. I'm still mad about it.
I would have liked to just keep it, like, the box.
Yeah, as a memory of of that day.
We could have taken a picture of it and posted it, but
No.
Someone just had to, like, not bring any money and let Skylar pay for everything.
Dude,
so
I had $10. That's all I had.
$30.
I don't.
And I had to pay for everything. I used, like...
We used all my money.
We used
but
all
we
of
also,
my money.
But I gave you what I had. I had $10.
You're always broke.
I'm sorry. I need to get a job.
It's not can we go. It's can we pay for it if we go.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. I need to get a job.
We got you. Can I tell the pants story?
Yeah, let's talk about my pants.
Okay. So Dan owns literally 2 pairs of pants. I can
Uh-huh.
probably name all the shirts he has.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have more. I just like the ones that I have.
Yeah,
This is
there's
a new
only-
shirt. I'm wearing a new shirt today.
I noticed that, but it says Kent on it.
Uh-huh.
Just like the same other one that you are allergic
Oh my
to.
god. Listen. My one of my relatives, I don't know which one of my relatives went to Kent State University, and they keep giving me things.
Is that why?
Yes.
Oh my god, I could probably name all your shirts
Okay.
that you wear.
Go.
The Kent State, the starry one, the checkered, it's not checkered, it's just like the sleeve.
The sleeves are checkered, and it's from Target.
That yellow Halloween shirt.
Mm-hmm. I've only worn that a couple times.
But I remember it.
Mm-hmm, because it's yellow.
Yeah, and that is the only bright colored thing.
Yeah.
The purple Marriott shirt.
Yep.
My Chemical Romance thing.
I have a few My Chemical Romance things.
Yeah, you have the one, well, the sweatshirt is the one I'm talking about.
Oh.
And then you have the khaki pants that you're wearing, and the weird pants with a bunch of pockets. And that is
Yes.
all. That is everything.
You forgot my Schlatten Co. hoodie.
Damn it! You always wear that!
I
everywhere.
love that hoodie. It's so comfy.
Got it recently. Shut
I
up.
did.
And but yeah, I was like, you know what? We're going, and if it's the last thing I do, I'm buying you a pair of pants.
And we bought me a pair of pants.
Yeah, he was over in the sweatpants, and I was like, okay, just try one of these. These are really popular. And he's like, no, I don't want to.
Okay, so
like, just do it because at this point, because he's so picky.
I'm so picky.
Everything.
If it's not like black jeans or khaki pants, like I don't want to try it.
Yeah, so I got some black sweatpants, and I'm like, okay, you're trying these on.
They're like Nike jogger sweatpants that
Yeah.
like every single male person on the planet wears.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't want that, and I was like, try it on anyways, and once we finished trying stuff on, I was like, which one did you like? And you're like, I kind of like the sweatpants.
Yeah.
And they were $40.
But when I checked out, the lady said $32. So
Which was insane.
Yeah.
Because, and I lent him.
like you lent me like
$20.
$20.
And he had 7 back and didn't give me back a cent of it.
Nope.
And you kept my $7.
You want to know where I put it? In my money mug in my room. I have a mug full of cash.
It's not full.
No,
It
there's
has
like
cash in it.
there's like $10 in it.
And 7 of that is mine.
And I just take it out every time I want to go somewhere because chances are my grandpa is over because he comes over every Friday and I do things on Fridays a lot. So I'll take my $10 and I'll be like, Grandpa, can I have some money? And then he'll give me like $10. So then I'll have like $20.
Grandpa's just so rich.
He's not super rich, but he's like,
Just a rich man.
he's just like, he makes as much money as my dad, except for my dad has to provide for a family of 5 and my grandpa lives with my picky grandma. It's like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So
He has a lot left over.
he has a lot of leftover money, and he just throws it at me, and I'm like, thank you, Pop
Not
Up.
throws it at you.
No, no, Skylar, you made it like that.
I didn't make it like that. I was just thinking.
Why?
No, I was thinking of just money. I was thinking of money. Money
Alright.
being thrown, and that was the first thing.
You know what we should do?
Throw money at me?
No, we should try to get a job at the same spot.
Where?
Like, I don't know, McDonald's or something.
We should do that.
Yeah.
You know what? You know how much shit we would not get done?
Yeah. We'd
That's
literally,
the point.
we'd break the ice cream machine.
It's already broken.
I mean, that's again. We're trying to fix it, but we cannot. Skylar! Okay. I'm cutting. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know how that sounded.
Put a mic warning somewhere around.
No.
find
Skylar
out.
dropped her mic.
I don't know how that happened. I swear to God, it was just there and then it wasn't.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we do have our mics on a stack of books because
Your Taylor Lautner book, that is mine.
I have my mic on a Taylor Lautner and Edward Cullen book
That are mine.
along with the Holy Bible. Yep.
But your grandpa's throwing money at you, so that's fine.
The King James Bible. The best one. The best Bible. That's the best
God.
Bible.
It is. We're in case any Christians are watching it, we're not gonna comment on that.
What?
But
It's the best Bible.
It's the best Bible.
Yeah.
It is my favorite out of all of the 0 in total that I've read.
I've read the first page of like 7 Bibles, and I can confirm the King James Bible is my favorite.
How many Bibles are there?
I don't know.
There are a lot of Bibles.
I don't know.
I think it's just the same story, though. Right?
Yeah, it's the same story. It's just differently translated, I think, because it was originally written in like, I don't know, Latin or something.
Yeah, it was in Latin. I think.
I don't know. It was one of those.
Even if it was translated into English, it was like it's still in old language, so it would
Yeah.
have to be written like normally for us. Old language. What?
Old language.
English.
Old English. Old English.
Old American.
Old American.
Your grandpa.
My grandpa. Do you want to talk about Roanoke?
Why am I crying?
Why are you crying?
The second I
Are you
talk-
alright?
the second-
Do you need to talk? Are you okay?
Sunday Carlos music again.
Do you want to talk about Roanoke?
Yes.
Let's talk about Roanoke. She's going to get him. We'll post a picture of us with Roanoke on our Twitter at GoblinzCast, GoblinzCast. On Instagram, we'll post a picture of us with Roanoke.
Okay.
So
I have Roanoke. He's here.
you should explain.
I should explain.
You will.
Okay. So this is how most of our inside jokes came to be, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I found something and I thought it was funny and I laughed for fucking hours at it.
Yep.
And then it was so funny to me that it came kind of funny to you because I laughed so hard at literally nothing.
It becomes funny to me once you because you think it's funny and it's not funny. That's why it's
so
funny. It's not.
Look at his face.
It's not funny.
It is funny.
It's not funny.
So pretty. I'm high. Why
Okay.
are my eyes watering? Look at my eyes.
All right.
What did you do?
I just got a grade back that I didn't do. So
Okay.
Roanoke.
Okay. My mic feels backwards.
It was.
and so, we were in social studies class reading about,
It was about like taxes.
yeah.
They were teaching us about taxes because they're like, you need to do your taxes.
I don't think you do your taxes. Okay.
No.
And there are so many hot men. Because, you know how they're like, look at this man. He has 3 children and he has a job that pays this much minimum wage, blah, 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 blah. And they had a picture.
They had a picture of everybody.
Yeah, and they only had their head.
Yeah.
I'm having a conversation
Okay.
with them.
So it was like little on the piece of paper, and for Christmas,
For my Christmas birthday.
for your Christmas birthday, it was for your Christmas. It was for your Christmas.
Yeah.
I printed him out really big. So now he is
Size
here.
of a piece of paper.
He is a piece of printer paper big.
He is so happy. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't tell if smiling.
I'm gonna
he's just kind of like, I don't want to be here. His eyes say that he's happy, but his face looks so neutral.
Shut up. Do you want me to talk? Okay, so we had a picture of him. And
yeah, no, I cut him out of my
his name.
my paper and I taped him to the hole puncher that we have in our classroom.
Yes.
And it has stayed there for 9 weeks. More
Well,
than 9 weeks.
it wasn't from your paper, was it? We asked our teacher. We said,
yeah.
we went up to our teacher and we're like, this was like a month later. We were like, do you have the worksheet that we did last month?
I was like, and she was like, why? I was like, I need Roanoke. And she's like, why? I'm to have fun with him.
Yeah, and then she's like,
got super creeped out.
she went, okay. And then she went and she got the paper and she gave it to us. And we got him. And there he is.
And there he is. And I taped him onto the hole puncher because we have this class hole puncher. It is the hottest hole
It is such a hot hole puncher.
And I left it there and no one took it. I'm surprised.
Well, I mean, to be fair, nobody really takes things. We have a hot dog taped to the ceiling, in that classroom.
Do you, you know what? I I showed this to you one time. There was this kid. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm gonna call him Towel.
I know exactly who you're talking about because of that.
Yeah. And
this was art class.
Yeah, this is art class. And he taped a picture of himself to the towels.
Yes.
And we just called him by his name and then the towels.
And it was like alliteration because his first name starts with a T, so it was like Towels, and it was really cool.
Towels.
Yes.
And everyone left it there.
And everyone, but
Nobody
then
cared. And I was like, and I asked the teacher, I was like, are those gonna get taken down? And she's like, no, I don't really care.
Okay, but one day, because I had art first period and she had art fourth period, so he was there in my class as well. Was it what period was it?
We have it fourth, but
okay,
but it was left there the entire day.
It was left there the whole time because I saw it in my class like weeks after.
Like he
and then
printed a picture of him.
One day I was there, and he was gone. And then
I took it.
You took it?
I did. I took it and I licked it, and I was like, haha, this is funny. And
you made out with Towel Boy.
And we threw it in the trash.
You know he has a girlfriend, right?
Yeah, every time he walks with his girlfriend down the hallways, because we pass when I walk in, he's just staring at her tits. I'm like,
yes.
He's not even interested in what she's saying.
He is just
so funny.
Looking at her tits. And he's a lot taller than her, so he's just like
just
looking
like
down. He's looking down. You say he looks like this, and then you, and then she stands up and does it, but you can't see her because this is an audio podcast.
We should get your lovely camera that you have.
We're not gonna film with my camera. I bought a camera because I recently got a PC so I could edit these better because the last one wasn't very good because it would not render.
Yeah.
But I got a camera with it, and it just glitches. It's like a bootleg-ass camera from China.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
And every time he does something with like on his computer, like a mouse or anything, like just clicking and doing stuff, it glitches green.
Yep.
It's so funny.
It's really funny.
We never finished about Roanoke.
Yeah. What else is there to say?
And then, I gotta tell this one.
Okay.
Because it was so funny. Because we're in social studies class still, and there was a story about the missing Roanoke Island.
Mm-hmm.
And
originally she thought his name was Roanoke, and I'm like, it's Roanoke, like that colony. And then we learned about the colony.
Mm-hmm. And we had to do a project on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I put him all over.
You put him in your project, yeah.
It was the best.
Mine was about Obama, wasn't?
I know, it's in the hallway. She
Yep.
puts like all the projects in the hallway because she liked them, and every time I pass them, I see Obama. And
mine.
And then I see Carson crying because apparently someone thought that was funny.
I mean, it's kind of funny. I put Carson in mine too.
Somewhere.
Yeah. No, mine had
the first page?
It was on the first page. So we had to do this project where we had to make like a fake news story about how the Roanokes disappeared, and mine was Obama snapped them away with the Infinity Gauntlet. Very original and funny, I know. But you also had to put like it had to look like a magazine, like little side stories and whatever. And mine was wood-fired pizza. How's pizza gonna get a job now? So I thought that was funny. What was yours?
Mine was like
your side
story. I don't even remember. I was like, all I remember is Roanoke.
I remember.
All I ever think about is Roanoke.
Well, I remember you texting me the night before and being like, I haven't done it yet.
Most of mine was like seriously like good. Most of yours was a joke. Mine was like good, kind of.
Mine was completely a joke.
Yeah. And she took it.
She took it, and I got an A.
Can you hear me when I sit back from over here?
I mean, when you sound quieter. We should be close to the mic. Hey. Do you want to talk about anything else? Do you want to talk about what else we have on our list? Do you want to put that back into the bucket and pick it out later?
I mean, how far are we in?
We're 50 minutes in.
I think we have time.
What do you want to talk about?
We can always go over an hour.
Yeah, we can always go over an hour.
Holy shit. I want to explain my at.
You want to explain your at? So, last year there was a camp at the end of the year, and we went to a stay away camp for a school week. Stop making noises. Put the ping pong ball away. It's not.
Bitch. Oh
So-
my god.
So we went to this camp at the end of the
Bye.
Shut up! She's walking away. We went to this camp at the end of the year, and it was a week, but Skylar didn't go. And camp was fun, whatever. I was in a cabin with a bunch of girls, so it was really annoying, and it was really dramatic and whatever. It was just like your basic summer camp experience. It was like Camp Rock. It was just like Camp Rock. Imagine it like Camp Rock. That's what happened. Skylar, on the other hand, needs to come back over here and sit down at her mic so she can explain what she did while I was at camp. Skylar, what did you do while I was at camp?
I've been walking around because I cannot stand sitting for an hour. Alright. So at camp, it was actually really, really fun. That hurt my ears.
Come on topic.
I'm thinking. At camp, so they were all at camp, and I had, because of personal reasons, I didn't go, and, I stayed back, and there was a bunch of kids, so everyone who didn't stay back was either someone who couldn't find someone else to be in their, if I want to talk, you gotta listen.
I'm listening to you. Oh my god, stop going off topic. You have to stay. Just ignore what I'm doing.
And it was either the kids that got in trouble previously who weren't allowed to go anymore, or kids that didn't find anyone else to be in their cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm so scared about what you're doing.
I'm not doing anything.
And so there was this one kid who was like really a bitch, I guess. He's the kid who smokes weed.
Yes, he is the weed kid.
Yeah, he is the weed kid.
Weed kid. That's what we're calling him.
Weed kid.
Weed kid.
And so he just every single day, because he had no one else to go around with, him and his buddy would follow me everywhere, and they would just talk. And most of it was like suka bliet, because that's funny because we're children, we're all children, that's funny. And which is just Russian for bitch fuck.
Yeah.
And then they were saying flack.
Yeah.
Flack. Haha, that's funny because I'm not saying the F word, but I can say flack. Flack you, haha, flack you. And so the entire week, I would walk towards any of them, they go, haha, flack you. And so Weed Kid picked out my ass.
Yeah, her ad on Twitter is Flack because of Weed Kid.
Fuck you. I swear to God, they were high.
They must have been. There were people high at camp. There were counselors that brought weed and got in trouble for it there was a counselor that had to go home because she kept playing music with the N-word in it and she had weed. It was like so bad, but it was kind of fun, but it was so bad. It was like,
it wasn't your counselor, was it?
No.
Was it?
It was like the basic bitch cabin counselor.
the I can't say her name. that one.
The girl that gave me the Cheez-Its is cabin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Cheez-It girl.
Mm-hmm.
She is the tallest bitch.
She is so tall. She is tall girl.
Tall Cheez-It bitch. Oh my god! I keep moving.
I think Skylar's getting restless and we should end off.
I am just walking.
We should end off the episode because Skylar is getting up and walking around our should I call it a studio? Should I call it our studio?
This is the studio.
Yes, this is Skylar's basement.
we are in your basement.
We're in your basement. This is your basement.
I forgot whose basement we were in.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.